Hello. All right, let's get started. All right. It's 3:30, so we'll go ahead and kick off the show. Hello. Hola. Annyeonghaseyo. My name is Daisy Perez, and I'm the Deputy City Manager for the City of Fullerton. Today's State of the City event is a celebration of progress, community, and vision. You'll hear from local leaders and our very own mayor as we reflect on recent achievements and share plans for the future of Fullerton. To officially begin our program, please join me in welcoming our mayor, Fred Jung, for opening remarks.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my great honor to welcome you all to this year's Fullerton State of the City address. I thank you all for joining us as we reflect on our many progresses, acknowledge a few of our challenges, and look forward to incredible opportunities that lie ahead for all of us. Fullerton stands at a pivotal moment. We prepare earnestly for growth, not just in population, but in potential as well. To ensure this growth is both sustainable and practical, the City of Fullerton is committed to strengthening the foundations of our local economy through intentional outreach and strategic economic development, some of which includes international investments. Economic outreach has become a cornerstone of our development strategy. By engaging directly with entrepreneurs, business leaders, and investors like yourselves, we are not only identifying opportunities for collaboration, but also removing traditional government barriers that have historically limited investment. City of Fullerton is welcoming new investment while ensuring that development aligns with the needs of our residents and neighborhoods by communicating robustly with our business partners, because economic growth must be shared. With your partnership, we will continue to build a Fullerton where every business has a chance to thrive and opportunities are abundant. Please allow me an opportunity to thank our many generous sponsors today: Jones and Mayer, Kimley Horn, Happy Jewelers, West Coast Arborists, Cal State Fullerton, Fullerton College, to name a few. A very special word of appreciation to our diamond sponsors, Republic Services and the Orange County Power Authority. Lastly, a heartfelt thank you to the Summit House Restaurant and their remarkable staff for so graciously hosting the State of the City today. I am terribly grateful for your hospitality, continued partnership, and generosity. Please enjoy this new program. I trust that those that had an opportunity to be at a State of the City will find this a bit refreshing, perhaps even a little less Thai. I thank you all for joining us once more today.
At this time, I invite you all to rise and join me in welcoming the Fullerton Police Department Honor Guard for the presentation of colors. Now, please remain standing as we welcome Fullerton Police Chief John Radis to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your right hand over your heart. And ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Arm!
That means you can put them down.
Ready! Place! God, forward, arch, right, right, right.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay. Now we turn to our keynote speakers, two dynamic leaders whose work has shaped industries and made an impact on our region and beyond. Our first speaker brings over 25 years of experience in the grocery and retail industry. Since 2019, he has led the growth of Sprouts Supply Chain's operations, including right here in Fullerton, where the company operates a major distribution center. His leadership reflects a strong commitment to healthy living and community investment. Please join me in welcoming our first keynote speaker, Joe Hurley, Chief Supply Chain Officer for Sprouts Farmers Market.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor Young, thank you so much for having Sprouts here. Appreciate y'all. Kim, thanks for guiding me through some of this stuff, and then we'll see if you guys clap after, so don't clap before. All right, a little bit of an icebreaker. This came off the container. This is a green banana, stage 1. This is what it's our Sprouts store. This is a stage 3.5, 4 banana. Now the question is, how many of you all have had bananas in your life? Everybody. So this smells like a cucumber. This smells like a banana that you would have on your fridge or on your counter at home. Now, how does it get from here to here? 5 key things. 5. First, you have to have a really good forecast. I need to know how many bananas I need to ripen from this to this. Good forecast. Number 2, time. About 4 days. Now, these bananas like to misbehave. They come from different crops, different pack dates, etc. They misbehave, and we have to whip them into shape with time. The next is temperature. They like about 59 to 60 degrees. Forecast, time, temperature, humidification. We like to put a little water into them so they look really nice when you pick them up. And then last but not least, something called ethylene gas. So it's a naturally occurring element. Tomatoes, onions emit that gas. So our ripening rooms that we invested in Fullerton are about $200,000 each room. We have 9 of those rooms in Fullerton and probably 45 across the network. Bananas are #1 tonnage in produce. And as you guys know, Sprouts is very proud of how we handle the produce, how fresh the produce is, and how much the quality is. You would never get a green banana at Sprouts. But if you do shop Ralph's or anywhere else other than Sprouts, if you do get a green banana, put it in a brown bag, put it with a tomato on top of your refrigerator, and that's a real cheap ripening room. It'll ripen really fast. So that's my banana story, and I'll stick to it. All right, let me give you a peek into Sprouts. It's real simple. We care, these are our values. We care, we love being different, and we own it. So even someone like me who played years of football and got hit in the head too many times, I can remember those. Care, love being different, and own it. And really our purpose is also very simple. We help people live and eat better. As simple as that. So let's get into the next slide here as far as what our overview. So if you look at our overview, we're essentially in 24 states. We basically have 459 stores as of tomorrow. We're opening up a store in Pittsburgh, California. No H on the end. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So there's a difference, you can always tell. And then we're opening up a store in Woodbury, New Jersey. So 459 stores across 24 states, and we operate 6 distribution centers across the country for mainly produce. We're essentially going to move into the protein distribution as of August in this third and fourth quarter. Our key distribution partners, so we procure produce and we distribute produce, but we have partners like KeHE Distributors. They help us with grocery, dairy, frozen, bakery, deli. Unify is a backstop. They're another natural food distributor. Team Penske does the driving, does the tractors and trailers, and also does some of the handling with Schneider, and also Lineage. So that's kind of an overview of Sprouts, what the culture is and kind of what our footprint is and kind of how we're growing. Since 2019, it's not that long ago, we had about 280 stores when I started. So we're growing about 10% a year on stores, so we'll open up 35, 45 stores a year, and we just continue to grow, which led us to the search for a new Southern California distribution center. So we were in Colton, California, which is about an hour east of here. And essentially that facility was very old, very tired, landlocked, and it couldn't grow with our growth within Sprouts. So essentially we were looking at different areas, and it was between Fullerton and Moreno Valley. And really it's almost like your house, your real estate market. It's all about location, location, location. You can't change the address. And Fullerton was a really nice center spot for us from a logistics standpoint. And we needed a size to grow into. So if you look at the numbers there, Colton was 123,000 square feet. We're essentially at the Fullerton DC, 336,000 square feet. So almost 2.8 times the size. Now we're not completely full. You don't build a DC that you run out of space in a year or two. And we have a 15-year lease in that facility with Goodman. Who Goodman is the developer there, was fantastic partners. And we were looking at not only that center point, but is it easy to do business? Can we get this thing going really fast? And I've put up, now this is my third new distribution center at Sprouts. And also as a side note, when I first came to Sprouts, we didn't ripen our own bananas. I'm like, can't do that. We're a produce, that's number one. So anyway, opened up, this is the third distribution center opened. We opened up 2 in 2021, one in Aurora, Colorado, and one in Orlando, Florida. So we kind of had a blueprint, kind of understanding what to look for and some of the things we ran into in those 2 states. But this here has been a really good experience for us when we started this in 21 we were in a design phase, and then we opened this facility up in 23. So we've been open up 2 years. Look, I told you what we analyzed. We look at rooftops, labor market, real estate cost, logistics, all that good stuff. So we landed on Fullerton. So why Fullerton? If you look at the next slide. The biggest one, if you look at bullet 2, we took 725,000 miles off the road from moving from Colton to Fullerton. So we really felt good about the construction timeline. We were up against it. Our lease was expiring in Colton in July, and we had Fullerton lit up in April. So we try to keep it really tight because we don't want to pay double lease very long. But really, as I look back, essentially I walked that when it was dirt. And if I remember, Mayor, that was a Kimberly-Clark kind of manufacturing facility. So we kind of got the scoop from the Goodman folks of what that was. But I remember walking the dirt over there, and then essentially 18 to 24 months later, it became a living, breathing distribution center to service our 115 Southern California stores. Let's go. It is LEED certified. And the other point I want to bring up is you guys look at those pictures there. We do have an electrified jockey truck. Does everybody know what a jockey truck is? I'll tell you. It's kind of the truck that moves the trailers within the yard. So it backs out and lifts them up, moves them to a door, moves them to the staging area. But it's electrified. The thing is super fast and super quiet. The second thing that's cool is we have an electrified Class 12 tractor. So we have that now on the road. I saw it leaving this morning out the gate whenever I was there this morning, and it's kind of cool. So we're playing in that game with electrification to see how that works. And the other piece is we did all the underground plumbing for electrification for tractors and trailers so that we do get to that point, we have the plumbing in place to charge those units. What's coming soon? Keep me honest here, guys. My guys are here that help me out here. But we're getting an electrified refrigerated trailer unit. And that's coming in July? July 7th. So we're working with Team Penske on this stuff to try to maybe be on the bleeding edge, but just kind of see how we pilot things and how things work out from an electrification standpoint. Let's see. So yeah, that's kind of where we were in 21, and that's where we had the ribbon cutting that Mayor Young was there in 23, and we had our grand opening, and I'll tell you, Team Penske, Team Lineage, Team Sprouts, Team Fullerton, it's been a really good experience for us in that site, in the service to the stores. I think the last slide, what are our benefits? So man, we can grow. We can absolutely expand. We have about 50,000 square feet that's ambient space. That means it's kind of the air temperature that's in this room that we can grow into if we want to refrigerate it or do something else. We consolidate at that facility, so basically bring in produce from different suppliers, bring it together and ship it to other 5 distribution centers as a consolidation point. And then I talked to you about ripening. We have full generator backup, so we do that at 5 of the 6 distribution centers so that we don't lose our produce, and if there is a power interruption, we have that backup. Sustainability, LEED certified, LEED Silver certified. I talked about the electrification that's not on there, and we took 725,000 miles off the road. That's big. You're talking over $3 a mile when you look at the cost. So you guys can do the math. And then the carbon emissions compliance in California for that. You know, in the replenishment to stores speaks for itself. And obviously, this is our highest volume distribution center. Southern California is a very important market for us. It's our roots, where Boney started essentially in San Diego. So we're very excited to be here in Fullerton. We appreciate you, Mayor, and everything that you guys have done for us to bring this thing to life and ship wonderful, fresh, quality produce to our 115 or so stores. So thanks a bunch, y'all.
Thank you, Joe. Okay. Now I'm proud to introduce our second keynote speaker. A visionary in real estate and investment, having completed more than $28 billion in transactions and developed over 100,000 multifamily units nationwide, he brings deep experience in strategic development and a passion for economic growth and innovation. Please give a warm welcome to the co-founder and managing partner of the Bascom Group, David Kim.
Thank you. It's a privilege. I started the day off a little strange. I was leaving the house and my wife asked me, it's like, what do you think? Are you MC Hammer? Apparently, I didn't know that pleated pants are out of style. Three pleats. So I'm like, well, I don't really have normal pants. And I know they're from the 90s, and I know Jeff Bezos wore them in his pictures in the 90s, but they're coming back into fashion. So I did want to thank Fred for the opportunity, and I'm like, well, what's the purpose of this? Well, as I tell him about how you got here. So it's a little bit of a strange story. I'm an immigrant, immigrated in '69. I was born in Germany. My father was born in Manchuria, even though he's Korean, in '37, and my mother was born in Osaka, Japan, 4th generation. Japanese, Korean, Yamamoto. And for obvious reasons, they couldn't really settle back in Korea, so they went to Germany. Immigrated in '69. I hope this is the type of thing you care about. But I had the good fortune of being a lousy student, so I didn't get into the University of Illinois Engineering School. Because back then, you have to be a doctor, an engineer, lawyer, so on and so forth. So I was a terrible student. Ended up going to the University of Wisconsin, and I fell in love with the real estate and urban land economics program. And it was really quite an opportunity and quite a self-discovering period in my life. From there, I was lucky enough to work with the pension fund, the State of Wisconsin Investment Board, which at that time was probably $10 billion pension fund. And this is in '88. And it was a small office, and I had these people come by that were basically asking us for funding. And as it turns out, it was KKR and a bunch of money managers you folks are probably familiar with today, and realized that there were a number of developers and that realized that these shopping centers weren't necessarily owned by private individuals, but public institutions and pension funds, and we were one of them. So that was an eye-opening experience to realize that these folks were using other people's money. From there, I was fortunate enough to get field experience in Florida, Orlando, with the Disney Development Company, where we overbuilt hotels in Europe, 9,000 hotel units for one theme park, and lost a ton of money in Euro Disney, but it wasn't my money. So that was still a wonderful experience. Basically off of shareholders and, the publicly traded company. Wisconsin has a real social equity bias, and it's a good one because it's about the triple bottom line. People, planets, profit. I mean, clearly you can't exist with pure economic equity without social equity. Those are the consumers, and it needs to coexist in some kind of symbiotic relationship. And clearly the environment is a big thing. And, we were socialists in college, but that's the only way you could find a date. I mean, seriously, walking by the protests by the Capitol building, being in a fraternity, looking at all those protests, and I'm like, wow, that seems like a pretty attractive group there. And what are they doing? Oh, save the possum. So I joined the group in Wisconsin, and I'm like, yeah, save the possum. Well, it was all about the minks. They were worried about mink furs and all that, and I made a mistake assuring that because even Dave Kim could get a date with my fraternity brothers, and needless to say, all 20 of them decided to protest for the minks the following weekend, which was terrible. But so that's the University of Wisconsin. Health, wealth, education, and lifestyle. Those are our four stools within our organization. We don't look at it as property. We look at community, ironically. So we strategically invest in our neighborhoods in terms of bringing public speakers to the high schools, in terms of supporting law enforcement, civic institutions, so on and so forth. I sit on the board of the Orange County Sheriff's Association, which is a privilege, serving down Barnes. And people ask in various communities like Aurora, in all parts of the country, why do we invest in law enforcement? Well, when you own apartment buildings, it's sort of obvious, right? Like, really? Anyway, a few other organizations. I mean, you can look at our website, but social equity is very important to us. Clearly, public employees really are the source of the capital for most of real estate at the end of the day. It's not private, high net worth individuals, even though things are moving that way. It is a public function at the end of the day. Okay. Next. Sorry. Next. Okay, so something about Fullerton. So this is what our young analysts do in terms of rating different markets. And you can see, the overall niche grade is A-, which I think is pretty darn good relative to Chicago. That's where I'm from. That's where I was raised. And out of 40 Orange County cities, Fullerton's number one in terms of diversity, which is a major credit. I applaud you folks for that ranking. That's huge. And then number 8 out of 40 for best for young professionals. I think that's amazing. But I would challenge you folks to go look at this data yourself, because other folks are looking at it in terms of a use in search of a site exercise, which I believe is what you're trying to do is attract capital and growth. I believe that understanding how the city of Fullerton ranks within other competitive markets for investment is something that you may want to look into. We're also, outside of multifamily, involved with industrial. So we have 9 million square feet. We have 6 1.5 million square foot facilities programmed in Ontario across the street from Chino. And to give you an idea of why certain, call it smaller buildings of 300,000 square feet aren't being constructed in infill areas is because the land isn't available and not affordable. So our first 2 1.5 million square footers went to Kimberly-Clark for 1.5 million square feet, and that is the largest adult distribution facility in the country. I learned more about adult diapers that any one human needs to know. And that the capacity for that in Houston is a lot different than Arizona. If that makes sense. So we can talk about that privately. I know, it's sort of off color. The second one went to Uline, which is another 1.5 million square feet. Ironically, Uline and Kimberly-Clark are both from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And that's where my firm originated from. We're all from Wisconsin. And it's very odd and a very strange coincidence that we all had a chance to work together. The third 1.5 million square feet went to Home Depot. And so the trend for mega institutional industrial facilities is there. 1.5 million square feet is significant. And I can share with you that the leasing activity for the mega tenants is continuing. Our market in general from June of 22 for that entire year was significantly damaged or impaired. Rates went from, example, 0.33% in terms of interest rates to 5%, to 5.33%. So imagine if your mortgage, went up by that kind of magnitude, you would be in trouble. The good news is, we don't have very much debt on the new construction projects at all, but we are in a real estate recession. A number of the notes that are due in the next couple of years are not refinanceable. And I'd say from the City of Fullerton's point of view, it's really a good time to maybe re-tenant or re-lease as an operator your leases with landlords, because the market cost of occupancy is going down significantly. So as an operator, it's a good time to renegotiate your leases, and hopefully that's helpful. Obviously, the location attributes are great here. And, as long as larger municipal cities, dense cities are not favorable, like in Chicago, where you have a lot of migration out, you have the weather here. It's remarkable. I visited my mother last week, and it was 100 degrees out in the ball field. I went to go to a Cubs game, and I'll tell you, watching a baseball game outside at 100 degrees with with humidity is very tough. So I have a lot of gratitude for just Orange County and being a citizen of Orange County. And it's obvious, what we don't see here is what other people don't experience. And my belief is Orange County will continue to have significant growth in terms of just population growth and retirement and seniors growth. Next. All right, a couple closing core values. We lecture a lot of universities. Over 30 years, we've had, maybe 8 major universities that we've sat on boards for. And, I share with them the obvious, which is integrity and honesty. And strangely enough, it's a practical thing. It's easier to scale if you just keep things simple and maintain integrity and honesty. It's not a moral thing. It's just a simplicity and strategic thing. You can scale faster, and you don't have to be that smart. You don't have to remember stuff. Like I didn't remember that 3-ply where these pants were out of style. So I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So the other significant thing I share with kids is nobody ever asked me what my father did for a living. And in other parts of the world, your family lineage is really important. And, we were all within a caste system at one time. And I always make sure I understand the students in the audience. And, they're looking dazed. And like, well, what do you mean by that? It's like, your last name's Wells. Well, you either lived near a well or your family were Wellsmen. Your last name's Brewer. Good for you. What do you think your relatives did 5-6 generations ago? They were either drinking beer or making it, And so, ironically, we were able to amass $22 billion of capital, and not with my business partners. And my business partner was from a small town in Wisconsin, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and farming community. And strangely enough, nobody ever asked us what our dads did for a living. And that is a true credit to our country and our beautiful country. I find it very strange because you go to Europe, you're not playing in land unless you're part of the right, call it hierarchy, if that makes sense. But not a single investor ever asked us what we did for a living, what our parents did for a living. And by the way, my dad was an engineer, for Roche in Germany. My mother was a nurse. Our biggest talent, our greatest talent, and our biggest challenge is really scarcity of talent. Strange, I know that Taiwan Semiconductor went to Arizona, and from my inside resources there, they can't find the talent, so they have to import folks. So something's going on. I would challenge you to go look at your local computer labs and see who's in it. And that pretty much, things haven't evolved. Since I was a student in Wisconsin in '88, I'd go to the computer lab and I could see the future just by the demographics being skewed. So it is what it is, I guess, and maybe things will evolve with artificial intelligence and not require us to have pure labor involved with computing technology, but it's a real issue, finding talent. The other major thing in school, maybe you can share this with other people, is time compression. It's just a perception of time. So when I would sit through my real estate and urban land economics class, an hour and a half would go by, it literally felt like 10 minutes. In my weather and climate class, that was an hour and a half, it felt like 5 days. And you start daydreaming about weird stuff, and you're like, I gotta get out of here. This is not gonna work out, So that time compression thing's interesting because an hour and a half felt like 10 minutes. And that's how I knew it was a passion for me. That, there wasn't enough time in the day for me to study it. And I never felt that way about anything. And my very first lecture was about the development of Disney World. And it was ironic that 4 years later I ended up working there. It's very strange, The biggest macro trend that I share with students that are, and you're not students, but that have a negative outlook on the economy is we have close to an estimated $60 trillion of estate transfer that will be trading hands in the next 20 years. The current estimates are $80 trillion. That's a significant amount of generational estate transfer. It's the largest in history. And so with that in mind, there will be all kinds of situations that are related to that estate transfer that will open up opportunities for repurposing and so on and so forth in almost every industry that you can put your hands on. And so from an entrepreneurial perspective, it is one of the greatest opportunistic times in our living history. So if you have kids out there that are in their 20s that are negative or have a negative outlook, I would just let them know it's like you're about to hit this wave that is going to overwhelm most people. But if you're just there in the ballpark, you're going to catch a home run or a fly ball just by sticking around. The last thing I'm going to leave with you is the commercial real estate industry is a $20 trillion industry. And go figure, you know how many people are in it according to Bureau of Labor Statistics? 3 million people. 1 million of those folks are aging out. So at least 2 million. Now, why wasn't it backfilled by younger folks? Well, because you only get wealthy once every 6 years or 8 years in this industry. And most 22-year-olds, when you say, hey, well, maybe you'll hit a good cycle by the time you're 32, they're like, no, I want to be a billionaire by 25. So the tech industry sucked a lot of talent out. So the population count in our industry of young folks is very low. But think about 20 trillion trout coming down the river with only 2 million people in it on the side and the river's edge. It's one of those things that, combats the whole notion of competitive behavior. Well, why should I fly fish against people next to me and be competitive when there's 20 trillion trout? It's better to build a net together. And in that way, it's more of a collegiate and fellowship focused mindset and not as competitive as fly fishing, but that's what makes the industry wonderful. So the decks are stacked. So you take 20 trillion divided by 2 million. That's a significant amount of AUM per capita. Well, that means that real estate guys really, and men and women they were just lucky. We just happened to be in the right river and where there's an excess and abundance. So, I challenge people to look at their industries per capita of like Forever, wherever your kids think about going, just say, hey, look, what's the firm's asset base or valuation per employee? And if it's significant, then that means there's a lot of opportunity to grow in that industry. So I'm open for questions or anything afterwards, but thank you for the privilege, Fred. True privilege, so thank you. And I'll change my pants. Thank you.
All right. So moving on, now we shine a spotlight on a business that has become a nationally recognized name in fine jewelry. Second generation jewelers, they have played a pivotal role in growing Happy Jewelers into one of the most trusted destinations for luxury watches and custom fine jewelry. Their work honors, I can't read my writing. Their work honors their family's roots while leading the business to national prominence, all while staying true to a foundation of service and craftsmanship. Please join me in welcoming Gabe Arik and Danny Arik, co-owners of Happy Jewelers.
Our dad started manufacturing jewelry in 1973. It's been our family legacy over 50 years. Our goal at Happy Jewelers has always been to make customers feel like family. Thanks to that tradition, we have been voted the best jeweler in Orange County for a decade straight. I'm Gabe Barrett, founder of Happy Jewelers, and this is my brother Danny. Our inventory of diamonds, engagement rings, fine jewelry, and luxury watches is one of the largest in the entire country. With multiple diamond setters and jewelers on site, we can handle all repairs and cleanings in-house while you wait. You can watch as your jewelry is being made or repaired, and we'll work with our customers on any budget. We have multiple full-time watchmakers on staff that can repair or overhaul your luxury watches. Step into Happy Jewelers, where happiness isn't just found in our products, but in every moment you spend here.
And we guarantee that you will have a happy experience when you come into Happy Jewelers.
Good afternoon, guys. Mayor Fred, thank you for having us over here. We are so blessed to have our father install a great foundation and great work ethic within myself and my brother. We have taken our humble beginnings and grown into a nationally recognized jewelry store offering the largest diamond and watch collection in the country. In the 90s, I started working for my uncles in the Fullerton Jewelry Mart right off of Harbor and the 91 right there, and I fell in love with Fullerton. After I graduated high school, while working for my uncles, I got accepted to Cal State Fullerton. I like to keep everything in Fullerton, for sure. I went to Cal State Fullerton, and I walked into the first day of school, and I just looked around, and I walked out. I literally, within like 5 minutes, I just walked out, and it was just not for me because I've been doing the jewelry business all my life, so I just didn't want to waste any time going into the jewelry business. I wanted to go into it immediately. So I called my dad. In the car, I'll never forget this. On the freeway, I'm on the 57, going to the 91. I called my dad. I said, look, Dad, I went to school. I tried my hardest to like it, but he's like, 5 minutes? 5 minutes? I said, hey, there's a family that's trying to sell their business that's in Fullerton, in the jewelry mart. Beautiful family. She had 2 little young kids, and she wanted to sell me the business because she knew, seeing me work with my uncles, like since I was 10 years old, she's like, Gabe, I want to sell you my business. I have known you and your family for a long time. I know you're going to be taking care of my customers, which are family now. I want you to take over my business. So I called my dad. I said, hey, Dad, I need a loan too. He's like, you're not going to college and you need a loan. So he gave me a loan, and I bought Happy Jewelers, and that was it. And we've been in the jewelry. I was in the jewelry mart for at least 20 years, and we outgrew that space like long time ago. I was just too attached to what I had. But what makes us different is me and my brother are at the store every single day, Monday through Saturday. We're talking to every customer that walks into the store. And it doesn't matter whether if you're coming in there for a $50 repair or like you're spending $1 million on a diamond ring or a diamond watch, or if you're Mark Wahlberg or Morgan Wallen, which these guys are, really famous, and they come to Fullerton from, all over the world. We have people traveling from other countries just to do business with us. But again, me and my brother care about the people that walk in there with a very small budget. It doesn't matter who you are. That's what makes us who we are, for sure. So as we have grown in Fullerton, has nurtured and supported my success and my brother's. We started in the jewelry mart, and then we went into a full-scale brick-and-mortar showroom in the Fullerton Metro Center, right in the corner right there. We are one of the, there's thousands of jewelry stores in the country. We're rated like, I would say, top 5 in the whole country, and we're very, very lucky to be in Fullerton. People come see us from, again, like I said, from all over the world, and they're like, why in Fullerton? I would think like Happy Jewelers is in Beverly Hills or Malibu or Newport Beach. We're like, yeah, we're in Fullerton. Fullerton is the best. We love Fullerton, so we're honored to be here, and we're honored to be with all of you guys today too. And we deal with a lot of business owners at the store all the time, and people always ask us like, Gabe, where should I open up my office, or I need to open up my second restaurant, third restaurant? I always tell them, come to Fullerton, because Fullerton, the whole city will take care of you, and the people at the city are very friendly, and they want to help. They're for business, so if you want to open up a business, Fullerton is the best place to definitely open up a business. So our industry has seen a lot of ups and downs over the years, but we continue to stay strong. COVID was a very interesting time for all the jewelers. It was amazing. It was good for business for a lot of the jewelers in the whole country, because everybody was home. They weren't going on vacation. They had a lot of extra money on the side, so they were coming in, upgrading their wife's rings and buying watches. It was amazing. So it was really good. But since COVID, definitely economy has slowed down and business went down a little bit, but we're still very, very strong. And people always ask us, I don't know if any of you guys been to the store. We're very blessed. We're always busy. People always ask us, why are you guys so busy? How do you do it? What's the secret sauce? For me and my brother, obviously it's customer service and social media and having good inventory. So when you walk in there, you're gonna see literally anything you could think of. For sure. So relationship building is very important. We have customers that my dad helped, that Danny and I are now on the second, sometimes third, or the fourth generations. It's crazy. Like we're helping their grandkids buy engagement rings. I feel really old with saying that, but yeah. So we use a lot of social media channels and relationships to build with influencers, celebrities in our community to tell our story. Me and my brother are, again, involved in the business every single day, and we're there all the time. We are blessed to be part of a great community. We always do what we can do to give back. We support our local law enforcement, our firefighters, first responders, local charities, and civic leaders, and more. We have so many customers who are in business again. We always tell everybody, come to Fullerton, and Fullerton is the best. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so that concludes our keynote speakers. Now, I invite you to sit back and enjoy our official 2025 State of the City video.
I think Fullerton is hitting its stride right now. I think we have a council that really respects Fullerton's rich history and wants to celebrate it. and enrich it, while we're also moving forward to the future and looking to bringing in the newest technology, the latest businesses, international businesses like Kamaria Coffee downtown and Bundu Khan, and we are becoming a thriving international community that also respects its deep roots in the past, and it's a really exciting place to be.
I moved to Fullerton 4 years ago, and I have lived in Orange County for about 9 years, and Fullerton inspires me. Fullerton inspires me with the culture, the history, and the collaboration that the whole city has together with the community. It is amazing the history and the wealth of love and passion that Fullerton has to offer. I love that people want to preserve the history of Fullerton. I can walk down the street, people say hi, they're very friendly. A lot of people are out walking their dogs and their children. The ties are really deep here, and people have a lot of friendships, and it just reminds me so much of back home. It's a big city, but it also has a small town feel. And I just would love to help that grow again. Being the representative for District 4, I am honored to have the Hunt Library in my district. It's a beautiful place where it has many opportunities for events and just a library to enjoy. I love all of the events that Fullerton puts on for the families. It's really nice and refreshing to have options to take my little one to. I love that we're able to have input also, and if we would like to add something at the next time, that the city is very accommodating to input and feedback with the community.
Our museum downtown plaza has become a real hotspot of bringing together all sorts of folks. You can go there on Thursday nights and see our city-sponsored farmers market, but if you also come back on the weekends, you'll find that we have pop-up markets that are bringing in loads of people who don't usually even come to Fullerton, and of course our first night Fullerton and now our July 4th celebration will be housed there as well. We are directly tackling the problems of affordable housing and of improving our streets. We've got a really nice big apartment complex going off on Chapman that'll house 700 or so students. Since I've been on council, we've fixed Associated Road, we've repaved Bradford, we've added more safety features to our crosswalks so that now that there's active lights that lets cars know when pedestrians are there. One of the things I'm really excited about here in Fullerton is our commitment to sustainability and growth and green energy and moving forward with our building in a sustainable way. So all of the new building that we're doing, we're trying to meet and exceed environmental standards. We're looking at LEED certified buildings. We've installed solar paneling, not just in City Hall, but in places all around Fullerton. We're looking at expanding, with the OC Power Authority and using that as our green energy source. And we still have about 90% of our residents enrolled. So we're promoting green energy that way. And then, of course, we have over 50 parks here in Fullerton. We're looking forward to doing more on active transportation in the future, building more bike lanes. There's so many great things happening with sustainability. I think Fullerton's really leading the way on that. And that is despite the fact that we're doing all of this, even in an environment where normally you would think there would be giving in to air pollution. We're not giving in.
We have the bones to make the city stronger. We have a train station, we have an airport, we have an amazing hospital within our infrastructure, we have our own fire department, we have our own police department, and now we have our own ambulance and service in-house. So I'm really excited to see what Fullerton can bring in together to help it grow. And I know Fullerton has great teams out there, and I would love to see us to work together to be the best team ever.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Please join me in providing a very special welcome to Mayor Fred Jung for our official 2025 State of the City Address.
It is my honor to stand before all of you reflecting on Fullerton's past year and to boldly chart the path ahead. Together, we have built a Fullerton that is strong, resilient, and full of potential. But the time has come to set our sights even higher. We live in an era of unprecedented change. Innovation is moving faster than ever, and Fullerton will adapt to lead the future. We are a city that welcomes possibility, that builds boldly, and that thinks beyond the status quo. That means we must become a place where investment is not just possible, it is easy. Where businesses are not just permitted, they are welcomed. And where development is not bogged down by red tape, but guided by clear consistent, and common sense regulations that help us grow smarter and, more importantly, faster. Bureaucracy should never stand in the way of building the future. Fullerton continues to simplify permitting, and we will ensure that city departments move at the speed of modern enterprise. Business financial commitment to Fullerton will not go unanswered. We will position Fullerton as a hub for investment and opportunity. That means cutting unnecessary delays and focusing on outcomes, not obstacles. We will partner with builders, small business owners, and investors, not just as regulators, but as collaborators. Because when our economy thrives, everyone benefits. To every entrepreneur here today and listening online, looking for a place to start, to every company looking for a home, and to every developer seeking a city that understands the urgency of growth, I say to each and every one of you this: we are open for business, we are ready to work, and we will move with you. The choices we make now will echo in Fullerton for decades. The business world is not standing still, and neither should we. Let me go off script for a moment, because too often we celebrate the wrong kind of leader. And that exists because we fall prey to something I call the action fallacy. Our mistaken belief that the best leaders are the ones who generate the most noise and most sensationalistic activity, if you were to put it that way. In other words, we confuse a good story for good leadership, but the two are not the same. As a matter of fact, more often than not, good leadership will result in a poor story because it's often boring. It's run-of-the-mill. Imagine, if you will, that leadership is swimming across a river. There are swimmers who jump in the water, no awareness of the current or depth, and nearly drown. They splash around wildly, screaming at the top of their lungs. Somehow, miraculously, though, they manage to drag themselves to shore. We all bear witness to this, and we applaud. We say, how amazing. Then there are the swimmers who spend a great deal of time studying that river. They know when and, more importantly, where to enter the water. These swimmers know how to turn their body in subtle ways and allow the current to help take them across the river. We probably wouldn't notice them. We don't. We assume they had it easy. Oh, the river was calm that day, or the width of the river was shorter at that part. We make up excuses as to why the loud swimmers were the better ones, because those swimmers are not the ones we should draw leadership lessons from, because their story is good, but their approach is terrible. We just tend to notice them more. We don't realize that the crisis these swimmers were in were largely self-inflicted because they were unprepared or reckless, unwilling to do the prep work or develop technique. We don't celebrate the quiet swimmers because, based on their knowledge, their careful planning, and their authentic ability to put in the work, they thoughtfully manage to minimize the problems that river presents. An organization, government, or private cannot function well under the kind of fool's gold brand leadership of these kind of swimmers, these captains of crisis that leap from one dramatic circumstance to another. Most good and great leaders manage quietly, almost unceremoniously, behind the scenes. They do the everyday hard work to get things done and move things forward, bit by bit. It's boring. It's uncelebrated. So the next time you need to triage a problem, fix a deficit, change a culture, pause for a moment, if you will, and think about who you want in that role. The one who is swinging wildly and causing panic, using fear to motivate? Or the leader who avoids the moment altogether by preparing for it beforehand? With that in mind, I am proud to announce two special tax measures, one dedicated to rebuilding and updating Fullerton's aging infrastructure, and the other to continue Fullerton's heartfelt commitment to public safety and law and order. I look forward to working with all of you to make the common sense case to our residents and businesses on why this is important to our community. Finally, friends, I can tell you with great confidence, don't bet against Fullerton. It's a sucker's bet. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of our city is hopeful, it is determined, and we are ready. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor Jung, for your leadership and dedication. Now we come to a very special moment, recognizing a local business whose passion, perseverance, and heart has touched lives across Fullerton and beyond. Please turn your attention to the screen for a short video presentation honoring this year's Community Hero Award recipient.
Our vision is very simple but intentional. Create exceptional French macarons while being faithful steward of everything entrusted to us. That means quality ingredients in our baking, real opportunities for our team, and giving back to our community. Every morning, we come in trying to do better than yesterday as a team. When we first started this business, it was 3 young moms with 3 young children. So from the very beginning, we understood what the reality of the struggle as a working mom. So we actually really wanted to help the local moms with the jobs in a local bakery. We became a bakery of 16 bakers. We together have about 35 children. So this is more than just a bakery. We actually share lives and raise our families together. We are a Fullerton born and raised business. We started at a small bagel store in Fullerton by renting their kitchen. And 4 years ago, we made a big decision to build our own kitchen. If we move far, we knew we were gonna lose more than half of the bakers because a lot of them walk to work. This is our home, and we believe in Fullerton that we wanted to also invest in Fullerton by bringing our business. Our partnership with Disney has opened many small doors to help out the community where we've never ever imagined before. Through the partnership with Disney, we got to participate in Taste of Downtown Disney. We bring our foods and desserts to collectively raise the funds for CHOC Hospital. CHOC Hospital reached out to us after 2 years of participation of Taste of Downtown Disney. They asked us to maybe donate some of the sweet treats to their Mother's Day events. There's another library in Anaheim. They actually wanted us to come and do some activities, like baking activities with their local children in underserved area. So we've been doing it for years. We try our very best to give back to the communities.
Tengo muchas memorias, pero una de las que más me ha quedado grabada es en el tiempo de la pandemia, que todo se cerró, que no había trabajo. Ellas anduvieron por casa de cada una de nosotros, dejándonos una despensa, comida para nosotros y para nuestra familia, y eso me ha quedado muy grabado.
When my mother passed away, my sister and I, she also worked here, we invite our co-workers to accompany us on that sad day for my family. That day, Kayla closed the kitchen so that everyone, including them, can be with us, and that's a day for my family. I will always be grateful for them because they're going out of their way to do that for me.
Porque aquí todos somos como una familia, ellas nos tratan como familia, es una compañía que nos sentimos en familia.
This award isn't really ours. It is a celebration of the incredible team who pour their hearts into this bakery every day and treated our customers like family and serving our community with gratitude. It's because of every single team member and our customer who believed in us. This honor belongs to everyone who's been part of our story.
It is our great pleasure to invite Ms. Kayla Lee, An Jung Kang, Soo Young Park, and the entire Kayla's team to the stage to receive the 2025 Community Hero Award. From the team, we also have Alicia Cheveria, Bernie Perez, Laura Morales, Maria Campos, Joana Burgueño, and Melanie Guzman.
So I had the great honor of visiting their facility, meeting all of these remarkable women. This year marks the first time the City of Fullerton Mayor's Community Hero Award is being presented. I hope it won't be the last, because this Mayor's Community Hero Award is being given in recognition to extraordinary service, compassion, unwavering commitment to our Fullerton community. I am honored to announce the first recipient of the Mayor's Community Hero Award goes to Kayla's Cakes. It's more than a beloved local business. It's the symbol of what makes Fullerton great and special. Founded by sisters Kayla Lee and Yujo King, and run with the heart of mothers who understand the challenges of balancing life and work. Kayla's Cakes has built more than just a kitchen. They built a family that supports local mothers by providing meaningful employment, purpose, and empowerment. Your impact doesn't stop at your doors. Your ongoing partnership with Fullerton's OC United, to your generous support of Chalk and Downtown Disney's charitable efforts, you show us what it means to lead with kindness. Through every handcrafted macaroon, every smile you share, and every life you uplift, you remind us all that heroes come in many forms and often wear aprons instead of capes. I am proud to thank and recognize this dedicated team here today and who help bring your mission to life. So Martha, Alicia, Reina, Bernie, Alma, Laura, Maria, Johanna, Melanie, Rosa, and Suyon, on behalf of a grateful City of Fullerton, it is my incredible honor to present the 2025 Mayor's Community Hero Award to Kayla's Cakes and co-founders Yunjo Kang and Kayla Lee. And thank your entire team for all you do, inspiration that you bring to me, all of our community. Thank you, everybody. Please.
Hi, I'm Kayla. We're truly honored to be here with you and sharing our beautiful journey with you all. We're truly thankful for every single team member. And then there were a few who couldn't join us today, but yeah, I wasn't prepared for this, but yeah, thank you all. Stop by to say hi to us, and yeah, we give all praise to God. Thank you.
As we close today's program, I want to once again thank all of our speakers, our guests, and especially you, our community, for being part of Fullerton's journey. Thank you. Muchas gracias. 감사합니다. And with that, this concludes our 2025 State of the City event. Have a wonderful rest of your day.